and his mom lived happily and only had each other. His dad passed away in an accident, and since then, his mom hasn't looked at any other man. His mom, Jane, gave him all the attention and love in the world. Even when he finally told her he was sent to guys only, she only said,
"I know, son. I just want you to know that I love you no matter what. And I'll always support you in anything that makes you happy."
At school, his classmates always gave him strange looks and talked behind his back, but he didn't care because he got the support of the only person he cared about in this world, and that is his mom. Things were going on well between mother and son until Liam noticed his mom had been going out a lot recently and didn't give him as much attention as she used to give him. He grew increasingly concerned, fearing that what he had hoped would never occur, his mom being with another man, was now becoming a reality. He understood it was selfish to wish for his mom to remain single forever solely for his own need of her undivided love and attention. He couldn't help but fear sharing his mother's affection with a new family and the uncertainty of how they might treat him. One day, he mustered the courage to approach his mom. Sensing there was something she needed to share, her worried expression made him uneasy. As she asked him to sit down, she revealed that she had been in a relationship for the past 6 months with a man named James, who treated her incredibly well and whom she deeply loved. Liam's heart sank upon hearing this news. He wanted to protest and demand that she break up with James, driven by his selfish desires. But his love for his mom and her happiness held him back, so he remained silent, attentively listening to her. His mom continued, explaining that James had a son Liam's age, and she hoped they could all get along. She noticed Liam's silence and asked if he was okay with her being with another man. Inside, he wasn't okay, but he couldn't bear to make his mom sad. He sensed that his mom truly cared for James from the way she spoke about him, so he replied that he was okay but needed some time to process everything. A warm smile spread across his mom's face as she reassured him to take all the time he needed, her love and understanding shining through in that moment. Days passed, and one day Liam came back home with his house half burned and his mom standing outside with a man and some firefighters. As Liam rushed to his mom's side, relief washed over him to find her unharmed. They stood together, staring at the smoldering ruins of their once beloved home. It was a terrifying ordeal, and Liam couldn't help but wonder where they would go from there. Firefighters explained that the cause of the fire was a gas leak, and their home was now uninhabitable. Liam turned to his mom with a concerned look, asking her where they would live now, with no family in the city, and all their valuables reduced to ashes. Reluctantly, Liam watched as James, the man he had heard about, but never met, stepped forward with an offer of shelter. He listened as his mom, Jane, confirmed his suspicions and introduced him formally. James extended a hand for a handshake, a gesture of goodwill, but Liam's inner turmoil made it hard for him to accept it. Despite his reservations, Liam realized that this was their only viable option. They had no other place to go. Jane agreed to live with James temporarily, and, seeing the worry in his mother's eyes, Liam reluctantly shook James' hand and forced a polite smile. With their few remaining belongings in tow, they embarked on a journey to James' house. Liam had secretly devised a plan. He would behave badly toward James and his son in the hope that James would break up with his mom. Liam believed that if James were to end the relationship, it would prove that he didn't genuinely care for his mom. Arriving at James's house left Liam stunned by its size. He had never inquired about James's financial status. Inside, James's son, Andy excitedly rushed down to greet Jane, expressing his happiness about living together. Although Liam faltered, he bit his tongue and played along. Reluctantly, he introduced himself to Andy with a forced smile, then turned to James, feigning exhaustion, and asked for directions to his room. James apologized and explained that Liam would have to share a room with Andy for the time being due to the suddenness of their arrival. Liam saw this as an opportunity to enact his plan. He began to criticize James, suggesting that if he intended to marry his mom, he should have been better prepared, rolling his eyes for added effect. However, when he noticed the sadness in his mom's eyes, he stopped himself. To his surprise, James didn't take offense and actually agreed with Liam's critique, promising to make things more to his liking. Feeling a bit defeated, Liam rolled his eyes once more and asked Andy to show him to their shared room. In their shared room, Liam made himself comfortable by dropping his belongings on the floor and claiming the bed for himself. He declared that he would be sleeping on the bed from now on, leaving Andy to sleep on the floor if necessary. He expected some pushback from Andy, but was surprised when Andy smiled and said he had already planned to give up his bed for Liam anyway. Andy calmly picked up Liam's things, neatly arranging them in the wardrobe. Liam, not used to such kindness, told Andy to stop pretending. However, Andy's response was genuine and heartfelt. He explained how he had longed for a loving family as his own. Mother had never cared for him since birth until her divorce. Andy had always envied those with caring mothers, and now he was genuinely happy to have a new mom and a brother. This heartfelt confession softened Liam's heart. Although he was reluctant to show it, he replied with a dismissive whatever and turned to sleep. During breakfast the following morning, as the family gathered around the dining table, James broached the subject of Liam's school. He suggested that Liam might want to transfer schools because their new home was quite far from his current school, which could be tiring. Liam, secretly wanting to stick to his plan, saw this as an opportunity to assert himself. He retorted, stating that James shouldn't be making decisions for him when he hadn't even married his mom yet. He added that he didn't like his current school anyway, although he couldn't help but feel guilty when he noticed his mom's saddened expression. Seeing the tension, James quickly reassured Liam that he didn't intend to make decisions for him, only offering a suggestion. He emphasized that Liam could choose any school he preferred, including his current one. Eventually, after some back and forth, Liam reluctantly agreed to transfer schools, coincidentally ending up in the same class as Andy, as they were both in their final year of high school. James took care of all the arrangements for Liam's transfer to the new school. He didn't make any new friends in this school, too. As weeks passed, Liam continued to isolate himself at his new school, failing to make any new friends and purposefully avoiding any attempts from Andy to get closer to him. His behavior at home remained troublesome, causing concern for his worried mom. Despite Liam's negative attitude and behavior, James and Andy continued to be kind and patient with him. One day, a girl called Liam too, the school rooftop, and confessed her love to him. Liam politely rejected her, explaining that he was not into girls, but rather into boys. The girl stood there shocked for a moment, but then she hurriedly ran down to class. As Liam followed suit and entered the classroom, he could sense all eyes on him, and a hushed whispering filled the air. His candid admission about his preferences had clearly caught the attention of his classmates, sparking conversations and curiosity among them. Maintaining his composure, Liam calmly returned to his seat. He had grown accustomed to not caring about what others thought, and this new revelation about his preferences didn't change his self-assured demeanor. In the school washroom during lunch, Liam overheard Andy and his friends entering, and his heart sank as he heard them discussing him negatively. They questioned Andy about whether Liam had ever made any advances towards him, given that they shared a room. However, Andy promptly silenced them, insisting that they stop talking about Liam that way, or he would end their friendship. Liam, hidden in the washroom, breathed a sigh of relief. For the first time in a long time, he found himself caring about what someone other than his mom thought about him. He realized that Andy might not be as bad as he had initially assumed and decided to give him a chance. Additionally, Liam resolved to stop his negative behavior towards James too. During dinner at home, Liam seized the moment to offer a heartfelt apology to everyone, including his mom, for his previous bad behavior since he had arrived. Emotions welled up in the room, and tears glistened in their eyes. Each member of the family, moved by his sincerity, embraced Liam warmly, assuring him that it was okay, and they understood that accepting a new family wasn't an easy journey. This heartfelt moment marked a turning point in their relationships, strengthening the bonds between them. Andy went into his room to find Liam lying on the floor. Liam apologized for taking his bed forcibly and said that he would sleep on the floor from now on. To his surprise, Andy smiled and responded,
"Well, the bed is big enough for both of us, don't you think?"
Liam was taken aback by Andy's kindness and asked if it was really okay for them to share the same bed. Andy simply replied,
"Why wouldn't it be okay?"
With a smile, Liam climbed into the bed and Andy followed suit. As time passed, the two boys, Liam and Andy, grew increasingly close with each passing day. Their bond extended both at home and at school. They became inseparable, sharing not only meals, but also using the same spoon and straws without hesitation. They embarked on trips together, just the two of them, creating lasting memories. Despite Liam's room being ready, they continued to share the same room willingly. Liam sat on the bed, lost in thought, when Andy emerged from the bathroom. His body glistened with water droplets, tracing a path down from his chest to his impeccably sculpted ABS. His wet hair clung to his forehead, and a towel was wrapped just below his waist. The sight left Liam momentarily speechless, a mixture of admiration and an awkward flutter of feelings stirring within him. Liam couldn't help but stare, his eyes fixed on Andy's mesmerizing appearance. He swallowed hard, his thoughts a whirlwind of confusion and attraction. Just as he was lost in his own world, Andy interrupted, asking what had captured his attention with a teasing smirk. Realizing the dangerous path his thoughts were taking, Liam abruptly bolted out of the room. He decided it was best to sleep in his own room from that point forward, attempting to distance himself from the emotions he was beginning to feel for his soon-to-be stepbrother. Despite this self-imposed separation, they maintained their close relationship, but Liam harbors secret feelings for Andy, wrestling with his emotions in silence. Liam's secret feelings for Andy intensified over time, and occasionally he couldn't help but feel that Andy's actions were flirting with him. One night, when James and Jane had gone out for a date, Andy took the initiative to cook dinner for both of them since they were the only ones at home. While they were eating, Liam noticed that Andy's gaze kept drifting to his lips. Unable to ignore it, Liam asked what he was staring at. To his surprise, Andy reached out, wiped a bit of sauce from Liam's lips with his thumb, and then licked it off with a playful smirk on his face, sending a shiver down Liam's spine. The unspoken tension between them seemed to grow stronger. With each passing moment, Liam's heart raced, and a whirlwind of emotions consumed him, as millions of butterflies swirled in his stomach. Andy's unexpected move had left him in a state of nervous excitement. Andy, on the other hand, seemed unfazed, continuing to eat, as though nothing had happened. Unable to contain his overwhelming feelings, Liam hurried to his room. He clung to his pillow, battling the urge to burst into Andy's room and pull him into a kiss. His heart still raced, echoing loudly in the silence of his own thoughts as he grappled with the emotions he had long kept hidden. Liam's jealousy at school grew as he observed girls vying for Andy's attention, wishing he could be the one by his side. During a break, he spotted a girl discreetly slipping a letter into one of Andy's books on his desk. The green-eyed monster of jealousy reared its head, and Liam contemplated taking the letter to hide it. However, when Andy and his friends entered the classroom, Liam quickly returned to his seat, not wanting to draw attention to himself. Andy noticed the letter, smiled, and placed it in his bag without opening it. Later, at home, Liam couldn't resist his curiosity and ventured into Andy's room. There, he found Andy sitting on his bed, a smile lighting up his face, and the letter placed beside him. Unable to contain his sarcasm, Liam quipped,
"You must really like this girl."
alluding to Andy's evident happiness over the letter. Andy got up from the bed and approached Liam, leaning in close to his ear. His voice, deep and intimate, asked,
Are you jealous?
The proximity of Andy's words sent a shiver through Liam, his heart racing and sweat forming on his face. Liam's feelings had become too overwhelming to contain any longer. He couldn't bear the thought of someone else having Andy, so he decided to take a risk. With trembling hands, Liam gently held Andy's face, his voice soft and earnest. He told Andy he was going to do something to him, giving him the option to push him away or kick him if he didn't like it. Liam made sure to emphasize that he didn't want his face harmed in any way, as he cherished every inch of it. Liam's bold move silenced any words Andy might have been about to utter. He pressed his lips passionately against Andy's for a quick kiss, then pulled back, his eyes locked on Andy's, anticipation in the air. To Liam's surprise, Andy responded with a smirk rather than a kick. When Liam asked why he hadn't kicked him, Andy playfully replied,
You said I should do so if I didn't like it.
Liam, his heart pounding, questioned.
So, you liked it?
Andy's response left him speechless as he admitted.
I would have kicked you if I didn't.
Liam took a step back, his gaze now suspicious. He asked,
Wait, do you like me?
Andy, with a knowing smile, began to close the distance between them slowly. Liam instinctively moved back until he couldn't retreat any further, his back against the wall, his heart racing with uncertainty and desire. Andy leaned in close, his face just inches from Liam's. He spoke in a low, seductive voice.
That kiss was really quick and unexpected. Didn't have time to react. Can we do it properly this time?
Liam, feeling shy but unable to resist the desire that had been building between them, nodded in agreement. Andy closed the remaining distance between them, and their lips met once more in an intimate and passionate kiss. Their kiss lingered, filled with longing and hunger for each other. After they pulled away from their passionate kiss, Liam asked Andy.
So, are we together now?
Andy, with a playful grin, replied with another question.
Are we?
Liam pressed.
Are we not?
Andy responded.
Do you want us to be?
Liam, his shyness giving way to excitement, admitted it.
I do.
With a beaming smile, Andy declared.
Then we are.
Liam couldn't contain his happiness and started jumping around the room in excitement. His exuberance reached a point where his mom, Jane, burst into the room, thinking something was wrong. Liam quickly reassured her that everything was fine. He was just excited about the release of season 2 of his favorite K-drama. Jane, relieved, left. Liam's excitement came to a sudden halt when he noticed the letter on the bed again, reigniting his jealousy. He couldn't help but ask Andy why he was smiling at the letter. Andy explained that the girl who had given him the letter simply wanted his help to get closer to Jeremy, one of his friends in school. He showed Liam the contents of the letter, and his smile was because he found it surprising that someone liked Jeremy despite his peculiar behavior. Relieved and realizing there was no romantic interest involved, Liam's jealousy transformed back into pure excitement. He showered Andy's face with kisses filled with happiness. From that day, the two boys happily dated in secret, and Liam started sleeping in Andy's room again. They went on a lot of dates and trips together after they graduated from high school. James and Jane also finally got married. It was time to go to college, and Andy and Liam got into the same university. Therefore, James bought an apartment near the school for both of them to live together. Moving into their new apartment together have filled Andy and Liam with excitement, as they anticipated finally having the freedom to be alone together. However, as their college journey began, the demands of their coursework and involvement in different club activities started to pull them in various directions. With conflicting schedules and mounting academic responsibilities, they found themselves spending less time with each other. Recognizing the importance of maintaining their connection, Andy and Liam made a heartfelt promise to each other. They vowed to go on a date or plan activities together whenever they both had ample free time. This commitment was their way of ensuring that they wouldn't drift apart despite the busy demands of college life. The urgent call from James had both Andy and Liam rushing home, a sense of dread gnawing at their hearts. As they entered the house, they found James sitting on the couch, his face etched with anger, and Jane seated beside him, clearly anxious. When they asked what was wrong, James put his phone on the table, displaying a picture of Andy and Liam kissing at the park. Their hearts sank as they gazed at the incriminating image. James explained that his friend had sent him the photo, and he demanded an explanation for what was happening between them. The room hung heavy with tension as they awaited Andy and Liam's response. Andy tightly held Liam's hand, ready to stand up for their love. He bravely explained to his dad that they had been dating for a while and that they truly loved each other deeply. Andy emphasized that they had no intention of breaking up, even if asked to do so. James, relieved by their honesty, dropped his initial anger and clarified that he wasn't genuinely angry but upset that they hadn't confided in him and Jane, discovering their relationship through a nosy friend. Liam and Andy exchanged relieved smiles, their hands still intertwined. James assured them that he wasn't against their relationship and that they were free to love whomever they chose. With gratitude in their hearts, they shared a family dinner thanking their parents for their understanding. Later, they returned to their apartment. As the years passed, Andy and Liam both successfully graduated from university and embarked on fulfilling careers they loved. Their love endured, and while they had their disagreements at times, their commitment to each other remained unwavering. They held true to their promise, never to let anger fester or misunderstandings linger overnight. Every night, they would talk things out and make peace. Their unwavering dedication to each other, coupled with their open communication, solidified their love, and they lived together, happily ever after, much like the endings of fairy tales.